Hello, my name is Carolin Saltzmann, and I'm currently a third-year PhD student at the University of Hamburg in Germany. I am studying blood donation management-related topics, and I feel very honored to be able to present my work at the DoRN Symposium series. I'm going to give you now a brief overview of a study I did together with my supervisor, Silke Bönig. So with the study, we aim to deliver more insight on the donor's consciousness of the decision to discontinue blood donation. We analyzed the association between this consciousness and the blood donor's intention to return and their reasons for why they stopped blood donation. And finally, we identified effective recovery activities for those donors who stopped blood donation. A thorough understanding of how the relationship between blood donors and blood donation service ends is particularly important to counter the trend of steadily shrinking donor bases. In blood donation research, it is widely studied what the reasons are for why blood donors end, for example, health issues, negative physical experiences, fear, inconvenience, deferral, or a busy lifestyle. But little is known about the consciousness of that decision to end the donor career. Very few studies, for example, that of Van Dongen et al. Or Klinkenberg et al. Found that there was a difference between consciously ended and passively lapsed donors. And this is a very important distinction because a wrong assessment by the blood donation services may lead to inappropriate or ineffective recovery activities. So to derive the different states of consciousness of the decision, we apply the trans-theoretical model, which explains the process of change in behavior and which has been applied to various health behaviors, also including blood donation. This model posits that a change in human behavior occurs in a sequence of discrete stages. And based on this model, we assume that in blood donation, those donors who stop donating can at the same time be located at different stages of consciousness about that decision. We suppose that there are three stages, which you see here at the bottom of the slide. First, a person may have stopped blood donation, but is not thinking about the change. That would be a person in the pre-contemplation group. Second, a person has stopped and is thinking about it. That is contemplation. And third, the post-contemplation stage would be a person who has consciously decided and stopped donation. We further suppose that the intention to return is dependent on the consciousness of that decision to stop donating, and also that there are different main reasons in these different groups. We collected our data via an online survey in the time between October 2020 and January 21. We obtained a total of 1,263 responses from former blood donors. In the study, we define a former blood donor as a person who has not made any donation in the past 36 months and who has neither been permanently deferred from future donations for medical reasons. We recruited respondents from two sources. First, among former blood donors of the German Red Cross blood donation services, Baden-Württemberg-Hesse and Northeast. And second, through an online panel, which had the advantage of receiving responses from individuals who had not who had donated at all possible blood donation services. Quick note, the German Red Cross blood donation services organize approximately 75% of the total blood collection in Germany and rely on a non-remunerated donor base. The other 25% are served by other nonprofit and private organizations. Jumping to our results. First, we analyzed the consciousness of the blood donor's decision to stop blood donation. And to get an understanding of the distribution of the population of former blood donors among the different stages, we grouped the respondents into mutually exclusive categories based on their consciousness regarding their decision. This figure presents an overview, but let me first explain how these categories were formed. The items underlying the 3 stages were measured on a 7-point Likert scale. We assessed the top 3 scores to determine the individual association with one or more of the consciousness stages, and then we allocated each respondent to one category. We find that the majority of respondents is located at a single stage, that are the black bars, and some are at 2 stages simultaneously, that are the gray bars. Only 15.7% could not be assigned to any category. In the first stage, the pre-contemplation, we found that there were 44.9% of our sample, so persons who explained that they did not consciously decide to end, but rather absented themselves from blood donation. In the next stage, the contemplation, we found 3.3%, and regarding the stage of post-contemplation, we found 16.9% of the respondents who indicated that they had consciously decided to stop donation. We found 12.4% to be located at the overlapping stage between pre-contemplation and contemplation. So overall, these findings indicate that the process of ending a donor career is mostly an unconscious behavior or a passive behavior. This table reports the group differences in the respondents' intention to resume blood donation. We compared the mean values for all single or the double stage groups with independent samples t-tests. And the post-contemplation group served as reference category in every comparison. In general, the intention to return may be considered as moderate with a mean value of 4.05 in the total sample. Looking at the different groups, we found a significant difference in intention when comparing the 2 ends of the consciousness continuum, displayed by a mean value of 4.68 in the pre-contemplation group versus 2.28 in the post-contemplation group. When asked to indicate their willingness to be forwarded to the appointment scheduling system of the blood donation service, after the survey, every 4th respondent here in the pre-contemplation group said yes, whereas those in the post-contemplation group predominantly declined. This table reports the 30 most frequently reported reasons and presents group differences. Again, here the post-contemplation group served as reference category at the t-tests. We distinguished 2 dimensions of reasons based on their different spheres of influence. Here we have the most important donor-related reasons, and here are the most important blood donation service-related reasons. In the table, the 5 highest ranked reasons for both dimensions are marked in bold. And looking at the pre-contemplation and the post-contemplation group, we observed different core themes regarding these 2 dimensions of most important reasons. Respondents in the pre-contemplation group indicated mainly timely obligations like work, housework, switching jobs, caring for children, or moving away from the site where they initially donated blood. And with respect to the blood donation service, they were deterred by inconvenient donation hours, too few invitations, or because the place is inconvenient. In contrast, respondents from the post-contemplation group often quit because of fear of circulatory problems, physical health problems, or self-deferral, or because they had the opinion that they had contributed enough. Within the dimension of service-related reasons, the most prominent reason was negative physical experiences at the blood drive. We further applied multivariate linear regression to analyze the association between the reasons and the consciousness of the decision. And second, we performed a mediation analysis to assess whether the association among the reasons and the intention was mediated by consciousness. If you are interested in these results, I added a reference to our article on the last slide where you can have a closer look on our detailed results. This table presents the respondents' recovery activities that they stated to be encouraging in resuming blood donation. In particular, the respondents in the pre-contemplation group value the offer of more flexible donation hours, the possibility to book appointments online, reminders to their appointment, or a little text message with information regarding where their blood was used. In the post-contemplation group, which is populated by former donors who had a generally low intention to return, every second respondent indicated that actually no recovery activity could convince them to resume blood donation. Based on the insights emerging from our data, we offer the following suggestions for blood donation services recovery strategies. First, addressing busy people to engage those donors who are positively disposed to donating but have unconsciously lapsed due to their busy lives. We recommend a distinct communication regarding this topic. So blood donors showing first signs of lapsing should be approached and given the opportunity to explain their situation, to, for example, select a pause option and to determine a time period after which they would like to be contacted again. We furthermore advise implementing and advancing appointment scheduling solutions that help busy people to fit blood donation into their lives. Second, we recommend implementation of a segmentation approach in order to target the recovery activities. The segmentation of former blood donors based on their individual consciousness would be beneficial, and systematic short surveys could help in this regard. Last, because we find that too few invitations from blood service providers were often mentioned reason for discontinuation, we suggest furthering the involvement of donors in the optimization of communication settings. For example, offering individuals the option to adjust how frequently they receive communication mails in the long term. I turn my camera on again to say goodbye. Thanks for listening. Thanks for organizing to the DoRN team. If there are any remaining questions, then please get in touch with me via email, and you can also find me on LinkedIn. On the slide, you also see the reference to where you can find the study I just presented. Goodbye. Best regards from Hamburg.